Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, Kristen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic, fantastic. So you were fishing on July 2nd, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
July 2nd, you and your husband Douglas were out fishing private waters. Is this somewhere that you and your husband fish regularly?
Yes, it is.
And had you caught big bass from this lake before?
We had caught a 14-pounder about 2 weeks before we caught the 16-pounder.
Really? Well, I know that Georgia is very well known for producing some large bass, and I think it's pretty phenomenal that you were able to catch a 16-pound bass, and we congratulate you on that catch. So tell us how that day started, Kristen. You and your husband had planned this fishing trip, or was this a spur-of-the-moment thing that you and him go and do from time to time?
It was spur of the moment, and he just woke me up and said, "We're going fishing." I said, "I don't want to go." He said, "Get up, we're going fishing."
Well, I'm sure you're glad you got up and went now.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad now.
That's pretty awesome. So tell us how this thing shook out. You're on the water. How long had you guys been on the water that morning, Kristen?
We had been on the water about 2 hours that morning.
Okay.
And my husband was hogging the bank. So I turned around mad and decided to fish in the open. It was hot, so I didn't figure I was going to catch nothing.
Had y'all been catching fish up to this point that morning?
He had.
Okay, so was this the first big bass caught of the day, would you say?
Yes. Yes.
So give me a little bit of, help me paint the picture for our listeners here. You and your husband, y'all are fishing, I'm assuming probably out of a John boat?
Yes, a little John boat.
Got you. Now, what kind of fishing gear were you sitting with? Are you using a spin cast rod or a bait caster? Or?
No, I was just using a little Zebco 33.
You're kidding me.
Flash. I'm not kidding you.
Zebco 33, indeed. Have you given up what you were fishing with? I think you said you were fishing with a worm, weren't you?
Yeah, I was fishing with a little June bug worm.
A little June bug worm.
Yep.
And so you and your husband are on the water, and he's hogging the bank and not turning the boat correctly for you. So you just decided to cast out to deeper water. And were you casting to anything in particular, or you just out there launching it into open water, trying to prove a point to him, or give us a little?
Well, no, I got frustrated, and I said, "Well, I ain't gonna catch nothing," and I threw it out in the open, and I wasn't throwing towards anything. I just threw in the open, and about the third cast, that boy got on there.
Wow. So once you threw out there and the fish hits the worm, how quickly did you know that you had a big bass on?
Well, I didn't for a minute. I thought he got off of there, and then I let him run a little bit and run. He didn't put up a whole big fight. And then he come up on his side, and my husband yelled. He said, "That's a 15-pounder." And that's when I told him if I lose him, I was throwing him in the water.
So at this point, your husband's got an ultimatum. He has to get the fish in the boat, or he's going in the water with the fish.
That's it.
So once you get the fish up to the boat, Kristen, did the fish try to make another run, or was your husband able to capture the fish pretty quickly?
Yeah, he just reached right down and grabbed him by the lip. What
a phenomenal story. Now, what was your biggest fish on this body of water that you had caught personally prior to the 16-pounder, Kristen?
14.
That was a 14. So you did catch the 14 also a couple of weeks before.
I did.
Wow. We might need to look at getting you some sponsors, Kristen.
I'm telling you.
So do you think you'll ever get a chance to fight another fish that big, Kristen, or is this a once-in-a-lifetime fish?
No, absolutely. I believe I'll catch another one that big or probably bigger, no doubt. We fish all the time.
Well, Kristen, we are super excited for you. 16-pound bass is something that a lot of anglers never get the opportunity to experience for themselves. And we wish you the best of luck on the water. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you.
Kristen, I appreciate your time so much, and we'll try to get this thing edited, and we'll get it up for you, and we hope to talk to you again in the future.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.